Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the program. I'm your host, as always, Jeff, otherwise known as LitecoinLeader. I think I got this right. There we go. There's my Twitter handle. There's my website. All the information that you want to find and how to contact me or learn more is either on the website, in the description, possibly both. Now, today's topic that I wanted to address is something that's been going on for the past week. You may not have heard about it because, as I mentioned in many different places, maybe at EconomicPreppers, maybe here, sometimes they bury the story. Okay. Sometimes they announce things on shorter weeks where people aren't paying attention to the news, like Thanksgiving week, and it tries to fly under the radar. So I'm going to talk about this story in two different parts. Part one, about the crypto part, is going to be here. Part two, that's a little bit more broader and a little bit more on the general scene of how the powers that be are dealing with certain things and addressing the crypto market. That'll be on EconomicPreppers. So let's start here and we'll dive right into it. The story is about the leader of Binance, or as Janet Yellen likes to say, Binance, which Xiaoping Zheng, otherwise known as CZ. Now, he has stepped down, and he posted this on Twitter again last week, that he stepped down from being in charge of Binance. So let me share my screen and I'll go through a little bit what's going on here. So last week, he was out here on the left coast and he was in the state of Washington, and Binance pled guilty. CZ pled guilty to violating anti-money laundering requirements, otherwise known as AML laws. Now, he said that Binance was breaking the rules. They weren't checking people. They weren't making sure the transactions weren't, between sanctioned parties or people that had not done the know your customer kind of stuff. And by the way, I'm going to share this as well. If you want to know a lot of good information about this, check out this video over here from Coin Bureau. Guy and his team did a great job of going. It's about a half hour long if you want to delve into it. This was part of my research. I always try to share my sources. Guy did a great job of breaking this all down. But for those who don't know or are relatively new to this space, I don't know what my voice just did, but okay. There was a time when crypto exchanges did not have to do KYC or AML, know your customer, anti-money laundering type rules. You didn't have to share your driver's license, your passport, all that stuff that you have to do now to open up an account on Coinbase, Binance US, whatever needs to be. That didn't have to be before, but that's the rules now, and everyone has to play by them, especially in the United States. So anyway, when Binance started, and Binance was they've been around for years, and they didn't always abide by these rules, especially with U.S. Customers. Apparently, the CFTC, that's one of the U.S. agencies that attempts to regulate crypto and financial transactions. They have been watching Binance for years, and they went and charged CZ this particular year and Binance that they were doing illegal activities on their website, especially when it came to U.S. customers. And they provided a long and lengthy list of the number of clients that were impacted. And part of the settlement that they had when CZ pled guilty is that Binance has to go and produce all the records, both going forward and going backwards, for all U.S. customers that might have been involved in this illicit activity. So there could be some exposure to clients going forward or going backward in time. So that's interesting. But CZ pled guilty, hefty fine. Let's see. So he steps down. He pled guilty. Binance agreed to a $4 billion fine, and I believe that CZ stepped down as part of the agreement. And he also had to pay $150 million himself. So this was not a hefty. This was a big deal. But the interesting thing is that crypto, the Bitcoin price, the price of Binance token, BNB, kind of went through unscathed. So that's very interesting. Now, part of this agreement is that CZ, who happened to be in Washington for this, he poses a serious risk of flight, according to what everybody was talking about. And the sentencing is not out there until February 23rd of 2024. So that's a concern. So there's been all these lawsuits over the regulations for the CFTC. This one happened in March. Then there was, and these were not included in this. So first you have the CEO that was sued. This was the settlement. There's also that the SEC is suing Binance for security and anti-money laundering violations. This was not part of it. So there's all kinds of litigation that's going on out there. So what happened yesterday, or actually might have been this morning, as I record this, I'm recording this on November 28th, just for accuracy. CZ was ordered that he could not leave to go back to the UAE, which is where he's residing with his wife and children. I think he has one child, and his wife and child are not able to get to the United States. So because CZ's so wealthy, people were thinking he's a flight risk. So let me drop out of here, talk about this and how the result into the crypto community. This is a big story, kind of got swept under the rug due to the holiday in the US, but this impacts a lot of the US. So what does this all mean? Okay, so they made this announcement last Tuesday on the 21st, 2 days before Thanksgiving, made a big deal about it. Everybody wanted to be on stage. They had a whole press conference. It kind of looks like when you do a bust and collect a whole lot of materials like the ATF does stuff or whatever. But they made a big dog and pony show about, hey, we got the bad guy and it's CZ, and we fined him this much, which was kind of like a slap on the wrist. And now they're trying to keep him from going out of the country. But the main thing is that this is CFTC was put out there a lot of statements, including that this is an example of what they're looking at, both going backwards and forwards in transactions. And this is an example. Okay, this applies right now. This applies to Binance International, not Binance US, but all central exchanges and decentralized exchanges could be subject to in these types of investigations. So look for the US to be looking at all kinds of crypto. This is another form of choke point 2.0, where they're trying to prevent you from getting out of the dollar system and into the US current or into the crypto system. It's happening, folks. It's really out there. It's out there for you to see. And the US is leading the charge here because they're protecting the dollar fiat system. So I'm going to pause there and go over to Economic Preppers. I'll leave the link up here so that you can go watch that video, because there's plenty more to talk about this. And I have a lot more to dig into and what it means both internationally, a certain organization to talk about. I'm going to leave it there for now. But if you have comments, please leave them down below. If you haven't subscribed to Economic Preppers on YouTube, please go do so. Also, follow us on Rumble as well, because sometimes we can't talk about certain things on certain social media platforms. But I'll leave it there for now, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.